Welcome back to Keep It Real Boxing. This is Cypher Box. So, just reading an article on BoxingScene.com where Barry Hearn wants Joshua to delay the Wilder fight, and he explains why. That's what it was titled anyway. Anthony Joshua should consider waiting 12 months before fighting Deontay Wilder in a world heavyweight title unification bout, according to Barry Hearn. However, veteran promoter Hearn will stay out of the decision-making process he promised when he meets WBO, IBO and WBA champion Joshua on Tuesday for talks about the next steps in his career. Matchroom chairman Hearn has put his son Eddie in charge of guiding Joshua's career, but he still takes a view of what would be the smartest next step. Wilder, who holds the WBC version of the title, last month made an unusual move by emailing Joshua directly to insist his backers had the money worth $50 million for a bout which could take place later this year. Hearn Jr. explained that he still required plenty of assurances before committing to any deal. However, his father mentioned the possibility of Manchester United's Old Trafford ground hosting a future Joshua fight, saying it's possible. Barry Hearn goes on to say, "I have a meeting with Anthony Joshua on Tuesday with Eddie before Eddie goes off to New York. The decision is numbers. It's a numbers game, and it's nothing to do with boxing. It's purely to do with that's what you get if you fight Alexander Povetkin. That's what you get if you fight Jared Miller. That's what you get if you fight Deontay Wilder in England. That's what you get if you fight Deontay Wilder in America. And I don't fight, so it's your call because you're the governor. You're running heavyweight boxing." The Deontay Wilder fight, if I was Anthony Joshua, I'd be leaving that for a little while. Not because I'm worried about Deontay Wilder, but at this moment in time, maybe I'm looking at 500,000 to 600,000 pay-per-view buys. In a year, done properly, I might be looking at 2 million, 2.5 million pay-per-view buys. Joshua has said he is 95% certain to fight American Wilder this year, but the deal has yet to be agreed. Barry Hearn said, "I said to Anthony, if you had 6 months to live, I would say go and fight Deontay Wilder, take the most money. But if you are saying to me that you've got a legacy plan, then I'm saying let's capitalize on it properly." That's his decision. And his team's, because I don't do the boxing, because it's a credible way of doing business. If you start letting the fans be the matchmakers, you end up being skin. When you talk about Anthony Joshua, I believe he's planning another 8 years at the top. So if he is, and he takes that view, the only thing that can derail him is getting beaten. That fear of getting beaten is what pushes him into the gym every day. The reason our meeting is starting at 2 o'clock tomorrow is so that he can fit a gym session in the morning. While he's got that attitude, I don't have a worry about anyone beating Anthony Joshua. I just have the worry over whether I'm getting the maximum amount of money for my client, because that's my job. His job is knocking out people. Okay, so here we go. All right, seems like we're going to have another stumbling block or another roadblock being thrown out there by Barry Hearn now. So Barry Hearn, the real boss at Matchroom Boxing, as you all know. If you don't know that, then I don't know where you've been, but he is the man at Matchroom, you know. Eddie does all the, he's the face of Matchroom Boxing, yes, but Barry Hearn is the top dog there. And he's just basically coming out and literally saying, you know what? We don't want this fight right now. We want this fight. Whatever the reasons are, I don't care. But we don't want this fight right now. We want this fight in 12 months from now. We want this fight in 2019. Or the back end of 2019. Summer of 2019. Whenever. Okay? That's what he's basically saying there. There's no other way around it. Yeah? He's talking about numbers. He's talking about money. You know, you've got this offer potentially of $50 million on the table, plus 50% of the revenue of the fight, whatever the fight makes. That is a massive payday. It's a massive payday. Okay, that is the biggest offer ever made to a heavyweight champion in the history of the sport. You know, Eddie Hearn recently in an IFL interview said that Anthony Joshua, he wasn't bothered about the money. That Anthony Joshua's not bothered about the money. Okay? If you're not bothered about... Actually, you know what? Let me play that sound clip, because I know what some of you lot are like.
But Josh, honestly, he really isn't bothered about the money. But Josh, honestly, he really isn't bothered about the money. But Josh, honestly, he really isn't bothered about the money. But Josh, honestly, he really isn't bothered about the money.
Right, so you heard it there. Eddie Hearn himself saying, Josh really isn't bothered about the money. Okay? Now, if you're not really bothered about the money, then there's no need to wait for 12 months, is there? To allow this to marinate from a financial point of view, which is what Barry Hearn's suggesting. Right? Think of it this way. Okay? If Anthony Joshua's not really bothered about the money, then make the fight now. And if you make the fight right now with Deontay Wilder and the $50 million is there and it's real, that's $50 million up front guaranteed plus 50% of the revenue. Biggest payday and offer made to any heavyweight champion in the history of boxing. But the promoters are going to be the promoters. The promoters are going to look at the angle. How much can we make out of it? Not how much we can make Anthony Joshua out of it. How much can we make out of it as promoters? Because that's what a promoter's job is. To make money. Yeah? So Barry Hearn's looked at it and thought, maybe in 12 months, if we keep, if we put it off another 12 months, we can have the fight here in the UK or whatever, make 2.5 million pay-per-view buys. That's a lot of money. That's over what? 1 million pay-per-view buys here in the UK at £20 or what? That's 20 million. So 2 million, that's 40 million. Right? And if there's any more than that, it's even a lot more money. Plus all the other stuff that comes with it as well, the gate, etc., all that sort of stuff. So they're thinking from their point of view, how much money can we make of it? Because whatever Joshua makes, they're going to take a cut out of it. Right? That means more money for them in turn. You know what? People need to stop backing these promoters as if they're, they're good guys and all this sort of stuff. It's got nothing to do with that. They're out to make money. That's their job. So Barry Hearn's looked at it from an angle, from a point of view where he's saying, how much money can me and my son and Matchroom Boxing make from this fight if we put it off another 12 months? Yeah, AJ makes his money too, but as long as AJ makes a lot of money, we get a bigger cut. They're looking out for themselves. And at the moment, like I said, you've got a $50 million offer potentially on the table. Okay? Potentially, yeah? Right, let me play you another sound clip. I played this in my last video that I did today, or I did a video already today, but this is the second video because I've read this article now. But let me play you another sound clip, and this is Kugan Cassius interviewing Anthony Joshua from ringside of Bellew versus Hay.
Any update with Wilder?
Yeah, I think the fight's going to happen for sure.
Yeah? Confident?
Yeah, very confident.
50 mil, baby?
Yeah. But I ain't selling my soul for 50 mil.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
That's where I'm coming from.
Will keep us updated on what's going on?
Yeah. Have you heard anything from Wilder?
Well, only what Eddie's saying every day. That's,
What from their side?
Literally everything we hear is about what's going on is from what Eddie Hearn's saying. So, but you're confident that'll be your next fight, or?
Very confident.
And that's why I'm saying, if you listen to that sounds like to me that from the way Kugan Cassius said, 50 million, baby, and he was like, yeah, but I'm not selling my soul for $50 million. Okay, that makes me feel like Anthony Joshua, it may have been confirmed that to them behind the scenes that the $50 million is real, that it's there. Because why would you say, yeah, but I'm not going to sell my soul for $50 million, but yeah, for 50 million I'm going to fight Deontay Wilder, when you get asked by Kugan Cassius? So do you know what I mean? I mean, if that's the case and the money is there, all right, and the money is there, that $50 million plus, don't forget the 50% on top, okay, which is a massive payday for AJ, no matter what the fight makes. His biggest payday to date, the biggest payday ever given to any heavyweight champion in history of boxing. What are you complaining about money? Why is Barry Hearn coming out with all this talk about, oh, let's wait a year and we can make more pay-per-view buys out of it later on? Come on. And then on top of that, you've got Eddie Hearn, which I've already just played you, saying that Josh doesn't care about the money. It's not really about the money for him. It's about legacy, I'm guessing, yeah? I mean, look, every time I think we're getting closer to this fight being made, something comes up that pulls it back and blocks it. Or potentially comes along that may potentially block the fight. Have to wait and see, because they're having the meeting today, of course, and see what comes out of that. But, you know, they'll present it to Anthony Joshua, and Anthony Joshua trusts his team. He trusts Barry Hearn. He trusts Eddie Hearn at Matchroom Boxing with everything. Trusts them 100%. So this could be end up being one of those meetings where they present him with a few things, a few options, and they sway his decision, and he turns around and says, actually, all right, well, let's wait a year until we fight Wilder. Look, it's disappointing to hear if that is the case, you know, but you know what? I'll let you guys make of it what you will. Leave a comment if you want. As always, guys, like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, this is Cyphbox reminding you to keep it real.